Greetings and salutations. In my last video I talked about sexual definitions and the generalizations that can go on with them. Unfortunately, we are still keeping on with the sex subject, but this time things are getting uncomfortable and quite dark. So first, I shall begin with a few definitions before I get to the main point. Sexual intercourse, which is also known as copulation, is commonly refers to the act where one partner is penetrating the other for the purpose of sexual pleasure, reproduction, or both. Now, for the acts that don't involve penetration, there is the term intercourse. And moving along a bit more, the shortened term of sex just means any sexual act. But when we get down to it, intercourse, and imagine the other intercourse and just sex in general, play a big role in human bonding, where it is used solely for pleasure and leading to a stronger emotional bond with your partner. But no matter what, be it the goal of pleasure or reproduction, it is always with the state of arousal and thus the consent of both partners, if not more, thus making the act pleasurable. And this is unfortunately where I get to the main topic of this video, a rather disdainful one. Now we get to the definition of rape. Rape is a type of sexual assault where usual sexual intercourse is involved. Unlike in the previous definition, rape is instituted by one or more persons against another person without their consent, through physical force, coercion, or the abuse of authority, or with a person who is incapable of valid consent. With the victim being forced into such a situation without consent, they are lacking the arousal that makes intercourse enjoyable and thus make it both degrading and painful. They are not being treated like another person, not like another living being, but as a thing to be used for the attacker's enjoyment. The chances are the victim shall suffer damage both physically and mentally from this degrading act. I cannot go close to understanding why the hell people do this to one another, but it's just sickening. And the worst of all is, there seems to be lots of it going around the internet at the moment, with certain let's plays and whatnot, and notice. Is this despicable act has been considered acceptable for use within humour, and even worse still, to be considered acceptable. Now let me get this straight. Are you I suppose, the type of scum who finds these things funny and or acceptable, or to believe paedophilia to be acceptable? But let's get down to the brass tacks here, because paedophilia is another form of sexual assault. It's pretty much the same thing, just with an AIDS rain slapped on it for the younger of victims. These are disdainful acts that can leave a lingering effect upon the victim, and the last thing they need, or anyone, those who have been around them, who care about them, need is the reminder or someone making light of their experience. It's disgusting. And despite all this, the joking happens, the act of rape is used as a threat against others, be it face to face or over the internet, quite often over the internet, where people are getting disagreements over petty things. And this is not acceptable in any mean or manner. And if you are one of these people who think this is remotely acceptable, do the world a favour and remove yourself from the gene pool. To think such things are acceptable is to lack a conscience, to lack respect for one another. Rape is never funny, and is not acceptable. As a community, we stand together. We work and support one another, but yet this is a selfish act, working to degrade another, just for the sake of someone's sexual enjoyment. This is going to be a shorter video, simply for the fact this is a very disdainful subject, and I hope I have made my point. Till better subjects.